Hey friends, you've done it again. It's a Tuesday and you're here at Mike Talks. I'm excited about this day because my wife is coming back from Dallas. Lord willing, I'll be reunited with her in a few hours and pick her up at the airport, and that'll make my life way better. How are you guys doing today? You all right? Text prayer to that number on the screen. I want to pray with you and lift you up before the Lord. It's very serious. If you have anything small, anything big, let us know. We want to pray for you. It can be travel schedule. It can be upcoming doctor appointment. It can be open heart surgery. We're just praying for all of you all the time. Lifting you up, Mark and Sharon Spira, praying for you guys. Happy birthday to Mary Fox and Mary Clausen, both of you, the two Marys. Happy birthday to you today. And it is another cold Tuesday here in Central Illinois. Hope you guys are staying warm, and we'll warm up with the Word of God here in just a moment. In fact, what I want to do is I want to share with you this great story. I'll introduce you to a couple of judges as we go through the week. It's the book of Judges, so we might as well get to know some of them. And Ehud has a really interesting story. I'm going to read a lot of it, so just get ready to be in the Word. Joshua chapter 3, verse 12 and following. The Israelites again did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He gave Eglon of Moab power over Israel because they had done what was evil in the Lord's sight. So remember this cycle of just evil. After Eglon convinced the Ammonites and the Amalekites to join forces with him, he attacked and defeated Israel and took possession of the city of palms. The Israelites served King Eglon of Moab for 18 years. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord, and he raised up Ehud, the son of Gera, a left-handed Benjamite, as a deliverer for them. The Israelites sent him with a tribute for King Eglon of Moab. Ehud had himself a double-edged sword, 18 inches long. He strapped it to his right thigh under his clothes and brought the tribute to King Eglon of Moab, who was an extremely fat man. This gets to the story, by the way. When Ehud had finished presenting the tribute, he dismissed the people who had carried it. At the carved images near Gilgal, he returned and said, "King Eglon, I have a secret message for you." The king said, "Silence," and all of his attendants left him. Then Ehud approached him while he was sitting alone in his upstairs room where it was cool. And Ehud said, "I have a message from God for you." And the king stood up from his throne. Ehud reached with his left hand, took the sword from his right thigh, and plunged it into Eglon's belly. Even the handle went in after the blade, and Eglon's fat closed over it, so that Ehud did not withdraw the sword from his belly, and the waist came out. Ehud escaped by the way of the porch, closing and locking the doors of the upstairs room behind him. Ehud was gone when Eglon's servants came in. They looked, and they found the doors of the upstairs room locked and thought he was relieving himself in the cool room. The servants waited until they had became embarrassed and saw that he had still not opened the doors of the upstairs room. So they took the key and opened the doors, and there was their lord lying dead on the floor. And this was the beginning of Ehud's deliverance. Ehud and Eglon. Eglon is the king of Moab. Think of all his allies. He says, "Hey, Ammonites, Amalekites and Ammonites, would you join with us Moabites, and we'll just take over a bunch of Israel." And so he take over this town. And of course, then the people cried out, "Oh Lord, this is terrible." Think about this, 18 years. Think of how much sin cost. I'm not going to comment on that anymore. 18 years of servitude to this fat king. The Bible tells us that he was fat, an extremely fat man. And we'll get an illustration of that in just a moment. So Ehud is now selected by the Lord to start something. And I don't know if the Lord communicated to him this. We don't really know. But we do know that the Lord blessed Ehud to be a judge that delivered Israel. So here's how the story goes. He takes the tribute to Moab and to the king, gives it to Eglon. Eglon receives it, and then he goes back with his servants, the people that came to deliver the tribute, the money, the taxes. And then Ehud turns back and says, "Eglon, I have a special message for you." And Eglon clears his palace of all the servants, and Ehud pulls out this dagger. He's left-handed, which is strange in the Bible times. The right hand was seen as the mighty power hand. The right hand of the Lord signifies the power of God. Left hand was seen as some weakness, but Ehud was left-handed. He pulled out an 18-inch dagger, right? I don't know if that's 18 inches. And he plunges it into the belly of this king. The king is so fat that essentially what we're saying is the blade, the knife, got lost in the king's belly. So it goes in at least this far, and the handle's inside his belly, and it says the intestines came out, or the waste came out of his body. Pretty gross story. But then Ehud locks all the doors. He's in his upper room chamber where he would be cooler. Somehow they would have a cooling place for him there. And his servants come in, and they think he's going to the bathroom. They think he's going number 2, actually. The King James says he was covering his feet. It was a Hebrew expression for going number 2 on the bathroom. They thought he was in the bathroom, relieving himself, it says here in this passage. And after they were embarrassed, after a long time, they called for the locks to be opened, and they found that their king was dead. And this began the revolution. Why did I tell you this story today? I told you this story because it's a fascinating story. It's not boring. Part of my job is to say to you, the Bible is not boring. But once again, God is faithful. He uses a left-handed guy by the name of Ehud, who maybe some people thought was not as good because he is left-handed, but he had bravery and had the Lord behind him. And so today, maybe you feel like you're not as good, maybe you're not as worthy, but God can use us all through Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ is the one that makes us all people that have a message of deliverance. Ehud had a message for Eglon. We have a message for the world. His name is Jesus. God bless you guys. Happy Tuesday.